All right, guys, the Torino is back. It has been a summer of struggle. We've only been to the track 4 times since July and got our teeth kicked in each time. So in this video, we'll go over all the passes, all the broken stuff, and we'll pick it up where we left off with the T5 back in July. All right, so update on the transmission for the Torino. We're going back with the T5. We're just short on time and money right now this season. So the T5 is the way to go. We can get it rebuilt quick back in. We have a short season here in New England. We only got a couple months left and not a lot of test and tunes on the schedule. So we're gonna get the Torino back out there as soon as possible. So here's what we got going on. So the stock case got destroyed with the bearing trying to spin its way out of the front of the case. It even ate the bearing retainer. So we got a new bearing retainer coming. We ordered up the beefed up badass G-Force case. So hopefully that'll help longevity. We're gonna give the amp billet shift forks a try. My stock ones are in good shape, but I've broken a bunch of them. So we're gonna give this thing one last shot. So we're gonna give it everything it's got. So we spent the money on those. We got a complete rebuild kit from Hanlon with the American-made Timken bearings, Tremec synchros, all the new small parts. So it's gonna be completely rebuilt. I got a plug finally for the neutral safety switch on the cover, so I can stop taking out that goofy thing to get a bolt out. So started setting up the counter shaft. I cleaned up this G-Force counter shaft that I had in it. I didn't buy a new one. I'm gonna give this a try, just try to save a little money there. Deburred all the gears, cleaned up the ends, polished up where 5th gear rides, cleaned up the inside of 5th gear where it was seized from all the trash going through it on the counter shaft. So gonna get this thing all cleaned up, put back together, and hopefully we'll be back at test and tune in no time. So the T5's all rebuilt, fresh, ready for action. We head out to Lebanon Valley for a test and tune. Two passes. I only got one out of car video. My crew chief was distracted by the drift event going on in the parking lot, but it didn't go well, obviously. It was 2,100 feet DA. We set the car pretty much the way we normally do. Two-step was at 6,200, and we actually had some good tire spin on that one. We went 168, which not horrible. We would take it for the first pass, but 3rd gear just wouldn't go. It was just locking me out. It wasn't like I was missing the gear. It just wouldn't take it at all. So we brought it around, did it again, 2nd pass, same deal, 3rd gear just got locked out. So with everything being brand new, I decided to just throw it on the trailer, bring it home, and see what I screwed up. All right, so here's my problem. I just took my Hurst shifter out, threw the Pro 5.0 in, just to make sure I don't have a shifter issue. Start simple first before I take the trans out. But if I go to 1st, 2nd, and then hit 3rd, it just hits a brick wall. And then it's kind of stuck there. It's stuck. There we go, went in. And it's stuck. So if I drive it slow on the street and shift it, it's fine. But if I try to go fast, it'll just lock up. It hits a wall there. Hit the clutch. Now so I'm going to take it out. I must have screwed something up in the top cover. That's the only thing I can think of. So we'll take a look. So the top cover looks pretty good. I was worried that, I've done it so many times that I just put it together real fast and didn't double check my work, and I might have screwed something up, but pretty tough to screw up this thing, but it was worth looking. And I've never used these billet forks before. I don't know if they were causing a problem, but everything here seems good. I put the tail housing back on just so I could shift this, and the slider for 3 is really hard to shift, so I'm going to take it out and take a look at it, see what happened in there. I can shift it to 4th pretty easily, but I can barely move it to 3rd most of the time. 1 and 2 are pretty good, so Something's binding up on the slider, I think, so pop it out, take a look at the keys and the springs and the synchro, see what's going on there. All right, so here's what I found so far, messing around with a couple different pieces of the 3/4 slider. This is an old slider that I had in parts with the original hub. This was the one that was running. Now, if I spin the gear, I can shift it. And it takes it no problem. When I was doing that with this one, it didn't, so I'm gonna try to reproduce it again. So I think maybe I'll just order a new slider and give that a try. All right, so I got the new 3/4 slider from Amp, and it's manually shifting much better. I'm not running into that wall anymore. I can just spin it and slide it pretty easily. So get it back together and see how she is. So I've got the trans bolted back together, and I'm still hitting that third gear wall, like right now. It will not go into third. Sometimes it does, sometimes I hit the wall, especially going from second to third, it'll hit it. So I'm going to take it apart again and take another look. All right, so I took the top cover apart and started doing some more inspections just to find anything. You can see this is pretty beat up where the finger on the shift cover slides through. So I don't know if that burr's catching anything, but I got one from parts bin here, and it's a little better shape. It's got a little ding, but not beat up like the other one. So I'm going to try that. Also on the 1/2 shift fork lug, the finger is pretty sloppy, so it seems like that lug is stretched out. So I found one in my parts bin that's pretty tight, much tighter. It doesn't wiggle as much, and I mean, it's visibly, you can see the difference. You line them up, it's pretty much wider, and the one on 3/4 was much tighter than the 1/2, so 3/4 fits pretty good. It's a little wider than the one I had in parts, but I'm going to put that in and shift it and see how it feels. All right, so back to troubleshooting my shifting issue. The shift finger here, the finger itself looks good, but the block here has got this groove on both sides. I don't know if that's causing any trouble, but I have this in my parts. It's one of the old 2-piece ones, so I won't run it, but you can see how sharp these edges are compared to the one that was in the transmission. So I'm going to mock it up with this and test it and order a new one. See if it makes a difference, just having that little bit of wear. All right, so I got a new 1-piece billet finger, got a couple of shift lugs. Gonna throw this together, see how it feels. New parts, it's in the top cover. So we've got that billet 1-piece finger. Amp calls these heavy duty lugs, so we got 2 of those. You can see they fit really well in that new finger. And then I replaced that interlock ring with a better one that I had in parts. And we'll see if that's it. Every once in a while it gets caught, but it's not as bad as it was. So hopefully this will do the trick. We replaced the third gear slider. We replaced all the small parts in the top cover. Got everything back together. Shifting good on the street. We head out to New England Dragway for a test. First pass, DA is 1,700 feet, 2-step 6,200. That's where we usually like to start it. And 60 foot was trash, and obviously we missed third gear, and my frustration level is through the roof at this point. pass, we turned the two-step up a little bit, try to get after it, and we spun the tires with a 1/8 60-foot, so it wasn't going to be a good pass, but third gear still giving us trouble, and I'm about to lose my
So once again, we need top dragster to detect for your pairings, please. Top dragster to detect.
third pass. We turned the two-step down a little bit. We still smoked the tires with a 189 60-foot. We got third gear. We just missed second and fourth that time. Last run of the day, I tried to just get all the gears. After the third pass, I had noticed the car creeping on the two-step at the starting line and looked at the clutch cable, made an adjustment, but I noticed the clutch cable was getting all frayed and coming apart, and probably my issues there. I'm just trying to use a rubber band to shift the clutch, so that wasn't working. So two-step was 6,300. We shifted it at 65, over 2,300 feet. We went 7-1 on the 60, 12-1 at 113. Nothing impressive. Got all the gears. Clutch cables coming apart, and on the return road, downshift to third, it wouldn't take it, and I knew right away I cracked the third gear synchro again. All right, so got the trans back out after our failed attempts at New England Dragway and cracked third gear synchro again. The clutch cable's all frayed too, so we got to change that. I think that's probably the cause of a lot of my issues. And then we'll, I think I may just put some stock keys in and get rid of the billet keys, see if they're causing this issue. So there's the cracked ring again, and you can see it kind of lines up right where the key kind of smashes the edge of it. So I'm gonna just try the other keys, stock ones. I'm out of other ideas. It's like the third or fourth ring I've cracked, plus clutch cable issues, but I don't know. That seems like poor fitment, maybe. I don't know. These are the stock replacement ones that come in the Tremec kit from Hanlon. These are the old billet ones I'm going to replace. These wings are a little smaller than the ones on the billet ones, so I don't know if these are causing a fitment issue, smashing the ring. But I'm going to try it, mock it up, see how it feels. All right, so here's the modern driveline clutch cable kit that I've had for 7 years. It's the third cable I've been through, and it is junk and gone. Silver Sport transmission listed a kit for a Torino and a T5, so I ordered it up. It didn't come with a throwout bearing or the right instructions. Hit up Silver Sport, they sent me the same wrong instructions, and they sent me my throwout bearing. Looking in the instructions, I saw that they're missing a plate, so I reached out to them, they got that. So here's the master cylinder. The push rod's bent, and I just noticed all the fluid coming out of it is nasty. This is fresh .4 fluid, so I don't know if the inside of the cylinder broke down. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. So here's the first master cylinder that Silver Sport sent me that bent. They sent me a new one. Doing some investigating, I saw the Heim joint that they sent me is seized, so it has no movement to bend or turn. So I ordered a new one from Amazon, replaced it, and hoping that that would resolve the issue with the pedal effort. I installed the new master cylinder and realized that the alignment is way off. So I reached out to Silver Sport and they sent me the correct firewall mount, so I have better alignment. All right, so after going back and forth with Silver Sport transmissions for 4 weeks, getting all the right missing parts that were never sent in the kit, breaking a master cylinder because they sent the wrong mount, getting it all in, it feels good, it's great. I will say Silver Sport Transmissions customer service was awesome. They were super responsive. They got me the parts out. It just took a week to ship each one. So on the final one, I asked them to overnight it because I wanted to go racing that weekend, and they did, which was really cool. So we head out to New England Dragway for testing. First pass with the hydraulic clutch. DA was just over 700 feet, 2 steps at 6,200 usual, and we got all the gears. Mile per hour was pretty good, 116. 60 foot wasn't great, and I was just shifting it. I was very shy, you know, I haven't had a good pass since like June, so just first time with the hydraulic clutch, see how it feels. Got all the gears, we're in the 11s, feeling pretty good. With that air, we figured we'd have a real good day. Second pass, DA came up a little bit, but still pretty good. We put the 2-step up to 6,400, added some air in the tires, and we shook the tires pretty good with a 199. That was pretty horrible. And got all the gears still, 116, ran it out, 1210s junk, but mile per hour, pretty happy with that. We had an issue. We snapped the driver's side axle. So a couple years ago I was changing a axle seal, and when I pulled out the driver's side axle I had a little bit of a twist, and it was winter, so I just ordered a new axle. So I'm gonna stick this in and see if we can get 1 or 2 more testing tunes out of it. It's only off 1 spline if you put a straight edge, and Strange, Moser, and all that stuff, their documentation says 2 to 3 splines of twist before it's junk. So we'll see if we can get away with it for 2 more weeks. It's middle of October, so we want to get a couple laps in now that I think we got the trans and clutch stuff sorted out. So we're going to slam this back in and try to get to a testing tune. All right, it's Monday, October 23rd. We did not get to the track yesterday, Sunday. It was rained out Saturday, and then they moved the diesel event to Sunday, and I've been there when the diesel's there, and you don't want to be there when the diesels are there. I took the Torino for a cruise, and 4th gear decided it didn't want to downshift. And then if I shifted fast from 3rd, it was grinding, so pulled the trans for the 9,000th time this year and cracked another ring. So I don't know what's going on. I've got some posts up looking for research. All right, so trying to get to the bottom of the broken keys issue. Somebody in Stick Shift Nation mentioned maybe too long of a drive shaft and bottoming out. So I came out and took a look and took a bunch of measurements. Here on the yoke, you can see where the bushing inside here rides most of the time. And I measured how far in that is to out here to the seal. And that was like 1 3/8 inches. Which brought us out to here, but you can see there's definitely something that's wearing every once in a while here, you know, suspension travel, which could definitely bottom out to the inside of this. It's pretty close. So I called up my drive shaft shop who made this 7 or 8 years ago. I'm gonna have them take 5/16 of an inch out and just see if that helps things out. Here's how it looks where it normally would ride. Measured this out 1 3/8 inches to line up that wear spot with the bushing inside. This right here is just a little over 3/4 of an inch, Most spec is 3/4 to an inch, so I'm gonna add 5/16 to it. So it'll be a little over an inch, just a hair over an inch. See what they come back with. Give me a little more room for error, because if this is going all the way into wear on this seal, the transmission sticks out a little, the output shaft's a little further than this seal, which puts me a little deeper in here. Maybe that's an issue. The output shaft is right about 5/16 past that seal. So maybe that's it. We'll find out. Got the trans back in, replace that 4th gear synchro. We got the drive shaft shortened and that back in. We head out to New England Dragway for the final test and tune. Pass was ugly. I had posted a video of the car launching on a Leaf Spring Facebook group to get everybody's opinion. Ask the internet for their opinion, you're going to get a million of them. So we tried tightening up the rebound, and that was not the way to go. It was ugly. We did get after it. We went for the 2-step right out the gate at 6,500. DA was 1,500. We blew the tires off, wheel hop, it was ugly, and we went 1270 at 114. Second pass, we took the rebound out of the shocks, put them back where they were, dropped the 2-step way down to 6,000, 15 pounds of air. DA was over 2,000 feet, so we weren't getting personal best stuff. We were hoping Sunday with the cold air would be the way to go. We smoked the tires with a 1.860 and went 12.0 at 115. Third pass, left 2-step at 6,000, dropped the tires down to 13 PSI. DA still over 2,000 feet. We did a little better. We got a 172. We got back in the 11s, 115, almost 116. Feeling pretty good, starting to get the hang of it. Fourth pass, we put the 2-step up to 6,100, left the tires at 13. DA started coming down. It was getting late in the day. So I had been there since 8:30, and this was my 4th pass at 5:30, and I didn't skip any turns. It was crazy busy. I think they put everything that got rained out all year on the schedule for the last test and tune. It was just kind of insane. But we got a 162.60 on that, which is only 300ths off a personal best. So that was coming around. We went 1172 at 115, so I'm starting to feel it. We've made 6 passes now with the hydraulic clutch without missing a gear. And on the next pass, I decide I'm gonna finally power shift this thing and see if we can do something. We put the tires down to 12 psi, left the two-step at 6100, and we gave it some good shifts. Finally was able to bang shift it. The DA was down to 1500. Ended up pulling a wheelie and bogging, so we had a trash 60 foot at 175, but then in 4th gear it just laid over and fell on its face. Looking back and thinking about what happened, I run the gas really low to try to keep it light, and we probably were just sucking air. So I wanted to bring it back around one more time. They were calling the lanes were closing for the night, so I ran it back just to see if we could reproduce that problem. Of the night, they had an issue with the time slip, so I had to get it from the tower. DUA was down to 1400. We left everything the same as the previous pass just to see if we could reproduce that problem in 4th. We were able to shift it again, so I was hoping for something good. We ended up going 175 on the 60, which was trash. Mile per hour came back up a little bit, almost 115, but still only ran at 12.0, so I think I was just running out of gas. All right, so that wraps up the season up here in New England. I might try to get down to Cecil or Maple Grove or Island in November. They have some testing tunes on the schedule. I think the car's running good. I haven't missed a gear yet since we did the hydraulic clutch, so that's eight passes in a row. I took it home and drove it around on the street, beat on it up and down the highway, put some gas in it. It's not breaking up and forth. It feels really good. So we'll see if we can get down there. So thanks for watching, guys.